And we're live. Hello, everyone. My name is
Woo!
Sky, and I write urban fantasy under the name. I write urban fantasy under the name SD Haggis, and welcome to this week's live stream.
Woo!
Oh goodness. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I gapped that part. Hello. My name is Amy Nobody. I am a freelance writer taking classes to become an SEO consultant. And I am joining Sky on these live streams today because I am working on my very first rough draft of my very first fiction book. Most of my writing in the past has been expository, nonfiction type stuff. So I'm just getting into the world of fiction, and Sky has been helping me along. I don't have any fiction works to share, and I also don't use social media, so I don't have any social media to share either. I've been joking with Sky that I'm just a ghost in the feed at this point, since I also don't like to show my face on camera. So yeah, that's me, and that's why I'm here for today's write-ins. I'm trying to finish my rough draft. By November, so that my November NaNoWriMo goal can be to complete my first edit of my first rough draft.
There we go. All right. So for those who are new to this, we were actually going to do a goals live stream today. We do bi-monthly goals. We started this a couple months ago for the first time, and today was supposed to be our recap for July and August. However, there was a third person who joined us for our goals video who wants to join us for the next one, and she's not available this week, but she should be available next week. So we're going to skip that this week and do it next week for those who are curious. So that's why we're doing more write-ins today. Plus, I have lots of editing to do and very little time to do it if I want to be published this year at all. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, this year has gone by so fast. I mean, I've had so many things happen this year. This has been my busiest year in a long time. But yeah, no, I just realized the other day, I'm like, oh no, it's September.
This has been I've had a lot of things happen this year, and most of them have been bad. There's been a lot of good things that have happened, but most of them have been bad.
You have had
like
some rough spells.
When I compare everything that's happened, all the big events, I'm just like, life really wants to kick me down right now. Can I really get some good news for once?
Ugh, I hate that feeling.
It's just been really weird. All right. So, since today's a write-in, do we want to go ahead and start at the first 15-minute sprint at 10:10?
10:10 sounds good to me. 6 minutes to chat before we sit down.
Yeah. I don't really know what to chat about, though. I mean, I do, actually. That's a lie. Give me a minute. Let me put that we're going to be doing first sprint. I cannot type today. That's not a good thing, since that's exactly what we're here for.
I just tried to pick up my notebook, and it was upside down and dumped out all of my loose papers on the floor, so my first sprint is going to be me picking my papers up off the floor.
My first sprint is going to be me trying to convert my file from the Word doc to Scrivener doc, because I just realized I haven't done that yet.
Oh no. How long does that take usually?
Well, since I'm copying and pasting, hopefully it won't take that long, but we will see, because of the fact that I've been having trouble getting everything to copy over. So
yeah,
this might be fun.
This
might be lots of fun. Plus, I have to find the file that I'm going to be working on, because I have things saved in so many places that are not all up to date, that the file I thought I was going to be working with is not the correct file.
I'm the opposite. I have everything like painstakingly organized. I know exactly where to go, but sometimes I know I just use that as a procrastination tool. Like every time I get on a project, every once in a while, I'll catch myself like, I should really be doing this, but it's really, really important that I sort these 4 documents into these 7 folders so that everything is perfectly organized, when really it's just a diversion tactic to stop me from doing what I should be doing.
I mean, that is actually not a bad thing, because so I save things in multiple locations. I save them on a flash drive, my main big laptop computer, and then I also am starting to save my Scrivener documents at least to my little tablet so that I can work on them at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a new flash drive because my other flash drive was not reading on my tablet, so I could transfer files back and forth. So I thought what I had done was saved all the information that was on that flash drive to this new flash drive,
Mm-hmm.
but I saved it to the computer, which is not a bad thing. It just means that the files that are on the current flash drive are not the most up-to-date ones, because I had originally grabbed them from the computer before I saved the flash drive information to the computer.
Isn't there a way that you can tell it to save both places at the same time?
If there is, I haven't figured it out. That's something I'll have to play with, because that would make things so much easier. I know that when I save to Google Drive, I can save to, not Google Drive, Dropbox. I can save them on my desktop and the little tablet at the same time. However, my little tablet doesn't like connecting to the internet. There's lots of things wrong with all of my technology.
It's about time for me to replace everything too.
My laptop's like 4 years old, and it's like the battery doesn't tell me when it's below 10%. It just shuts off, which is what happened during our last live stream, actually. For those who don't know, there are 2 parts to last week's live stream because my computer decided to just die. I had no warning. It just went bloop, black screen. You're done.
Ugh.
And then my tablet doesn't connect to the internet. It doesn't read depending on what type of flash drive it is, it doesn't read the flash drive. Sometimes it doesn't even want to read my mouse with the little wireless mouse with this little gadget inside. And my phone's just a dick. That's just all there is to it. My phone's a dick.
I got lucky and I was able to upgrade my phone recently because I don't bother to get the new fancy ones. I get the Straight Talk whatevers from Walmart. I don't actually use Straight Talk, but I just take my SIM card out of my old phone and put it in the new ones. So I've got a Samsung Luna Pro 3 or something like that. It was one of the Straight Talk phones that you can just walk into Walmart and buy. And I just put my SIM card into it. So I was able to upgrade my phone recently, which is nice. I don't hardly...
That's awesome.
Yeah, I use my phone for talking to people, and then I have like 2 games on it in case I'm somewhere and I get bored. But other than that, I barely use my phone I don't use it for cruising the internet or, checking anything. I don't use it for social media. So I was able to hold on to my simple phone for a long time.
Yeah. The timer is going off. I'll give it another minute and I'll start the timer on my phone for the sprint. It won't kill it.
That's the sprint timer.
Oven. No, that's my pizza. I'm having pizza for breakfast. But it's 10:10 now, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the sprint timer. So everyone can start sprinting now.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up my papers.
Uh-oh, I need my computer now. Shoot.
One more. I'm gonna hit it. It's them. It's them. Made it. Made it. You need to check the spot. Get the rubbers. Check the spot. From photos. It's only where it's from. Do it! Hit them! Hit them! They're hitting the portal! The box!
My children.
We didn't make it! Interface.
Yeah, still alive. You are not wearing any clothing, so you gotta make sure you stay out of the camera. Thank you.
That's 1:15.
1 minute 15 seconds. 1 minute 15 seconds. 15, yeah.
What is
Yeah, Weiss, what is your first class?
Let's make it.
Oops. Right up. Wrong button.
But then
Yeah, the one.
it's someone at the door.
Who's at the door?
I didn't get any money.
We'll talk later. Okay.
You 50 thieves.
All right, that is time.
Okay.
How'd you do?
I did okay. I'm trying to do the thing where I go through and I just write and I don't try to edit as I go,
Yeah.
but that's really hard for me to do. So like I read something and then I write something and then I read it and I'm like, oh, that's so bad. I should say it like this, and I'll end up saying it like 3 different ways. So half my time was spent resisting the urge to edit what little I did get written. Let me see if I got a word count here. I got 535 words. So that's not
not
too
bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. That's actually about what I do now, which means you write faster than I, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't write faster than you. I just absolutely knew what I was about to say.
It was a good sprint because you were just able to go type what was coming to your head, kind of thing.
Exactly. I knew exactly what to say. That's the only reason I got that number. I won't be getting 535 again. Trust me.
All right. I'm gonna say the next sprint is at 10:30, so in 4 more minutes.
Okay.
All right.
How did you do?
I managed to copy everything over to a Scrivener document, which is exciting in itself. It was not as complicated as the first one was. I discovered I am starting out with 12 chapters, and I managed to take out 9 words while adding and deleting stuff.
Okay.
So I am -10 or -9.
Wow.
I mean, considering the fact that I'm editing, that's actually what I want. So, meh.
Meh, yeah.
It was good for me. I was excited just about the fact that I completed the transfer, the copying and pasting of the document over to a Scrivener file. I was happy
Yeah.
as long as I did that. I was good.
No hitches.
None, which is extremely awesome. I'm liking that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah. I should be almost done with this bit where I know exactly what's happening right now. And I'll be back to struggling in the next, maybe not this upcoming sprint, but the one after that, I'll be struggling again. I'm going through, and I don't think that this is the best plan, but it seems to be working for me at the moment. I'm going through and I'm writing the least important. I've tried to balance my least important plot points with some of my most important foreshadowing. Like, for example, the scene that I'm working on at the moment is like after a fight, 2 characters who don't even know they're in the same place at the same time kind of cross paths a little bit. And as far as the plot point goes, the fact that these 2 people bump into each other and exchange pleasantries is ultimately inconsequential. They wouldn't actually affect the plot if they did or didn't. But it's a really good chance for me to do some foreshadowing. So my least important scenes have some of my most important background information and foreshadowing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to go through and write those first. And I've done okay so far for the most part because they're all simple, short scenes. Like, one of them's only about like 1,500 words, and that's it for the whole scene. So, so far it's okay. I don't know if it's the best plan. We'll have to see. What are you working on at the moment?
I am working on editing Warren's Rage, which is the next book in my Shifters and Mages series. There's going to be 5 books total, and this is a novella. There's 3 novellas, 2 novels. My editor has novella number 1, which is technically book 1. Book 2 has already been edited, and that's the first of the 2 novels. And now I'm working on novella number 2, book number 3.
Okay.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's You're getting there.
I'm slowly getting there.
And you said your goal.
I'm hoping to have this finished by mid-September. Like, I want this
Okay.
edited and done and sent off to my editor by mid-September latest.
Whew.
So, thank you.
It's a lot of crunch
Can you go turn
time.
the AC on? It is crunch time. Well, I'm looking back over my notes, and I edited Hunter's Betrayal in 5 days when I really sat down and crunched it because of the fact that I kept getting distracted and had things happen that were just bad. But when I look over all my notes and actually calculate how many days I spent on editing it, and a lot of it was me rewriting stuff, because I had changed names of a bunch of characters and stuff like that. Let's see. I worked on it a total of...
Mom, you want me to cut your pizza?
No, I can cut it. I worked on a total of 5 days. Quite literally, that was it.
Yeah.
August 16th and 17th, and then August 28th through 31st. So actually 6 days.
That's not bad considering it's all. How long was it? How many words you think?
It was 25,000 words.
That's not bad.
No, not at all.
A
Like I
little
said,
more
I'm
than
quite
5,000
pleased.
words a day about. That's pretty good
Mhm.
considering I have a really hard time editing my own work. Really, really hard time. So I struggle to do it and I struggle not to do it. I've got 10:32 on my clock.
Oh shoot! Crap. Okay, we're gonna sprint then. Give me a second to get the timer back up and running. Wasn't even paying attention.
Okay.
All right, and we're gonna start now.
Okay.
I get to do the level 2. I don't know how I did it. Oh, it's the same. That was easy. You really copied it. Ew. There is other you. You're a ghost. When you die, you can't come back. Why? You're really So what I was hey, how are you doing? Good. Ow. Ew. Ew. So what? If I get a lot of people, I couldn't hear you. This game is really good for me. above this. Oh. Whee! Okay. See what you. Oh. Hey. Walk, 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 walk. Now I can hit everybody. But they're not. Turn walking the right way. Turn around. I think this whole level is good. Oh. I am getting there. Ah. Getting money, silly. When I get enough money to buy stuff. Run, Grace, run! At the start. Run, Grace, run. I need money. Run, Grace, run. Run, Grace, run. How can you guys get over here? Run, Grace, There's hundreds of them! I got enough money. I want enough money to buy everything. Hey, guys! No more people! Ah! Ow! Go, Grace, go! Go, Grace, go! Go, Grace, go! No, he keeps hitting me. Take this. I'm in the battle. I'm in the battle. In the battle. And in the battle. And in the battle. On the stairs. I made it. Did you see that? I made it. Did you see that? I made it on level 4. Mommy!
Hmm.
Where's Mommy? Mommy, I beat the level 2.
Good job.
It's
Ba-da-da-da-da.
by myself.
Good job.
Hey. I'm my level 3. Yeah. It's my turn now. Hey. Wait, it's only level 3? Yeah. Oh my god. How many levels are there? If you die, you start all the way over. You need to hit. Okay, I'm first. How did that work? I'm pretty.
Grace, get out of the fridge.
Did you die? Yeah. Mine is gonna be on. If I know on the level 3, I'm gonna do it. Level 3 is the best. All the levels. How am I so hungry?
Because you guys don't know how to actually eat food. That's just snack. If you're hungry, have a snack.
chemicals. Can we finish eating this?
And that is time.
Okay, let me finish this sentence real quick.
You're good.
Okay, I didn't do quite so hot this time like I expected. Even with this last little jumble that I just finished post timer, I'm still only up to 403. So
Okay.
not bad. Not anything to complain about, but I have a suspicion that my numbers are going to be going down, down, down for the rest of the feed. How did you do?
I have negative 98 words. Slowly cutting this down, which is fine.
How are you cutting it down 98 words? So are you like going through and removing the extra that's and that kind of thing?
Yeah, for now. I'm changing some of the way some of the sentences are done. I'm also like, for some of this story, I did dictation.
Oh,
And so
fun.
some of the times I'm seeing stuff and I'm like, what the heck was I trying to say? Because it's like the sentence makes no sense whatsoever, or at least like parts of it make no sense whatsoever. The first half of the sentence will make sense, and then the last half is some garbled mix of random words, and I'm just like, what?
Have you ever played that game? I can't think of what it's called, but it's a board game, and that's exactly what it is. You try to come up with they give you a clue, and it sounds like the answer. Like if your answer is like Andrew Garfield, they'll give you a clue, and it's like a new Starfield or something like that, or a Starfield or whatever, and it sounds almost like the answer. It's a whole game. I can't think of what it's called, but it's actually pretty fun because they've got some funky ones.
Huh.
And sometimes it's phrases, people, places, phrases, stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
I'll have to look into that because I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll see if I can find it, because
that's just because I'm so behind on board games.
I love board games so much. I love them. I can't get enough of them, but I don't have that many people who feel like sitting down and playing. You know what I mean? Like most of the people that I know work, so in the evenings they just want to relax, and then on the weekends they gotta go grocery shopping, all that normal grown-up stuff. Yeah. So there's not always that much extra time to just sit down and be like, play with me. I just got Boulder Dash at the thrift store the other day, and it's like brand new. The people who had it didn't even open the cards. And I'm like, I know what happened here. I know exactly what happened here. Somebody like me bought somebody that game and then gave it to somebody who doesn't play it all the time. And then it ended up at the thrift store, and now it ended up on my game stack, which is getting pretty impressive. It's getting to the point where the tower is starting to like buckle under its own weight. I probably have like maybe 60 board games. Not even exaggerating. I've got what I believe is the worst board game ever made. It's this board game called Divorce Court. And I kid you not, I don't even understand how to play it, but around the outside edges of the board, there's just almost like Monopoly, how it's got the slots.
Yeah.
Around the outside edges. It's almost like that, except there's like 60 of them around the outside edges. And you play the game and you're going through Divorce Court. And the nearest I can understand the directions is that it was made by somebody who was actually a legitimate legal student who wanted to specialize in divorce proceedings. So you start at the beginning of the board, and then you have like sections of the board you have to go through. And it's the type of obstacles that you would find yourself coming up against in an actual divorce proceeding. And some of them are like an HIV test, STD test. Like your partner could claim that you cheated and endangered their life by giving them an STD, and so both of you have to be tested. This is the worst game. It's the worst game ever. And then there's like these, each player gets a card that matches the color of their token, and it's like this spider web. And there's like, I can't even picture it in my mind to explain it to you, but I do believe it's the worst board game that was ever made. I've been trying to find somebody to play it with me for like 3 years now that I've had it, but it's so hard to read the directions that by the time I find somebody who's interested in playing it with me, we start reading the directions and we're like, okay, no, okay, well, this section of the board, we're going to have to come back to it, right? Because you're only going to have to take the STD test if later on in the proceedings, somebody says, I think they maybe cheated and gave me the clap. So let's get tested. Like, I can't even figure out how to play it. That's how bad it is.
Oh, maybe that's why someone got rid of it.
Oh, it definitely is.
No,
it definitely is. I want to go back sometimes because I remember exactly like the people that I got it from. And because it was like a yard sale thing. And I want to go back sometimes and be like, please tell me, how did you come to own this? Like, I
need to know.
How did this thing come into existence? I have to know. But I've never gotten the chance to do so. And I mean, quite frankly, I don't want to freak people out. Be like, I am so obsessed with this that you have to tell me where it came from. Like, how did you get this? Who are you? So, yeah.
That's funny. Do you want to write it at 55? Do we want to write in another minute? Or do we want to wait until 11? Okay.
I think I can shut my mouth and stop running my mouth for a few minutes. Are you ready for a sprint at 55?
Sure.
Can we go to the park?
Not right now. I'm live streaming.
After you're done live streaming?
We'll see. You need to go clean your mouth. You have milk. You have a milk mustache, and there's milk dripping down your chin, which is quite disgusting. You're not funny. And of course, because she was looking at me, she tripped over something on the floor. That's my kid for you.
What did she say?
She asked me a question, and I answered it. You dropped pancake.
Where?
Right there. Only my children. Go play your game and eat your food. All right. Ah, crap. It is 10:55. I'm going to go ahead and get the starter started. And go.
Okay.
Yes. No, not funny.
Did you ask if we can go to the park?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let's think about it next time. Maybe we can go after I finish getting dressed. And you need to get Mommy doesn't spend it. You.
I didn't see where. Let's not play close.
Mommy, you have a frog?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go get this. That'll be big.
Better, but the pants are still not quite close. Run the shorts that are right there. There's something wrong with those? There's also more clothes on the couch. Better. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of reading this time because I'm editing. So I'm changing things, but it means I'm doing a lot of reading back over whatever I read.
This is gonna be a long list.
Okay. Wait, this? For what?
Yeah.
Okay. Go have fun. Go write your list.
Now I gotta get a pencil. Is there a pencil here?
Pencil? No.
Can't get a pencil.
Why not? What am I looking at?
Turn around.
Oh.
Daddy did it.
Okay. I'll fix it in a little bit. Just use the pen up there for right now. Without breaking things, please put that back up. I don't know what it was. Alright, let's not do that again. Hold on. Can I do regular terms?
I don't know.
How would you get a broom and sweep all that stuff up? Broom first. Sweep it all out of the way so I can put it back. Anything that's not trash, you take out. Anything that is trash, you have to put in trash.
I'm actually looking for this car.
Anything that is trash, just shoot into the can and put it in the trash can. Okay?
Ooh, I found a screw to our bed.
Alright, put it up on your dresser so they can have it. Use it.
Oh. Found my paintbrush. What? Sideways?
Clean up first before you do anything else.
Ooh. The paintbrushes. Why is there color in this picture? Look at that bug.
Trash it. Today is a.
Throw this away?
And that is time. Got into a little bit of a cleaning spree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gwen wanted something out of the tiered shelf where we usually keep their art supplies and stuff. Only it had been turned around, and instead of facing forward, it was facing sideways, except for it was facing one of the other, what we call the buffet. It's like I don't know it's another shelf with drawers thingy. But yeah, it was completely facing that, so you couldn't open the drawers. So I had to turn it around, but when I pulled it out to turn it around, there was lots of stuff underneath it. So I was like, let's clean this up first. And then I got myself a beer.
Oh my.
Root beer. So the joke behind this actually is funny. So we play D&D on Saturdays, every other Saturday at my house. And it's always like, it's a come, we'll eat food, we'll drink drinks, we'll play some D&D, we'll have fun, we'll have a good time. But I don't drink that often. if at all. In fact, actually, I think the last several sessions, I might have had a taste of whatever new drink someone brought by, but otherwise, I haven't drank. And this last time, I was like, I want some beer, and I was like, let me get some root beer. So this is my beer, as the joke is considered, because it's a glass bottle like the beers they drink. So screw it.
I have that exact same joke because I don't drink either. So whenever I always crack that joke, give me a beer. Whenever there's root beers in the house, I always crack that joke too because I don't drink either.
It's fantastic because everyone laughs because they're like, you don't drink. I'm like, there's still beer for me in the fridge. It's like, you don't like beer.
Have you tried that my grandpa's alcoholic root beer or something like that?
No, I haven't yet. I want to, but I haven't tried it yet. I haven't been able to find it. Have I looked in the right places though? Maybe I haven't looked in the right places.
My friend,
I'll try
again. She loves to try all different kinds of new beers and stuff like that, and she brought me one, and it's pretty good actually. It does just taste like root beer and beer. But I mean, honestly, I like the taste of beer. So, like, I don't mind when something just tastes like beer and something else. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I'm drinking an IPA or whatever. I don't want that beer taste. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's beyond me. But anyways, you can definitely, the anise goes with root beer. It's stronger than I would recommend, but it's not bad. And I found it at well, actually, you know what? It's been like a couple years since I had that one, so I couldn't even tell you. But I've seen it at like Food Lion and Lowe's and a couple of the other, you know, chain stores we have around here that are not Walmart. I've seen it at them, but I don't think I've ever seen it at Walmart.
Well, I haven't seen IBC because this is the only type of root beer. I don't even like A&W or what's the other one? Barks. Everyone loves A&W, and I'm just like, nope, no thanks. I'm good. Pass. Hard pass. So IBC is actually the only root beer I drink.
Wow.
But I also think that part of the reason I don't like A&W is because everyone always gets it in the can. And there's just something about canned drinks. It doesn't matter what it is. I just, nope, can't do it.
Oh, I love that metallic. I love that metallic aluminum taste that you get from canned sodas. You're crazy. You're crazy. I love it so much.
I mean, I am crazy. Not a lie.
I'll take a canned soda over a glass or a 2-liter any day. But anyways, how was your writing? Did you manage to do much besides the domestic duties?
I did get some writing done. I was mostly adding this time, so I only have -1. I added so much that I only subtracted 1. I like how Scrivener does that, actually. It allows you, like, it tracks both what you add and what you take away so that it counterbalances itself. So even though I added a whole bunch, I only took away 1. So it equals out in the end, basically.
Yeah. I did okay. I only got 323 words.
Okay. How do you spell what? Dollhouse. D-O. L-L. H-O. U-S-E. S-E. Dollhouse. Okay. I have no idea why she wanted me to spell dollhouse. She's making some kind of list. For something. I don't know what.
So how are you, you said you're editing right now. And you said you're mostly just going through and taking out the extra that's and rearranging sentences and stuff like that. How do you know when you're done? Like, are you one of those people who you can reach a point and be like, okay, I'm happy with what I've got? Or do you just keep thinking, well, I could do this and I could do that and I could do this and I could do that?
One of the cool things about outlining the way I do is that I pretty much know exactly what's going to happen in each chapter, even if I change it before I edit, the first thing I do is do a straight read through, and I'll do basically a new outline based on what I'm reading to make sure everything matches plot. Make sure I have less plot holes and stuff like that. Make sure everything flows together, and then I'll read through and edit. And I do 3 edits. The first one is actually technically that read through with the new outline process, and then the second 2 are where I'm going through and basing what I'm writing on that outline point that I have. The new outline I've written. Gwen, leave him alone. Gwen, leave him alone. If you want to do anything for him, empty his container so that we can get him some new kale later. Sorry, she was messing with the dragon, and he's in his safe spot, and I don't like them messing with him in his safe spot. Yeah, he's got his hidey hole rock, and if he's in that hidey hole, they're not supposed to mess with him.
Yeah.
There was one time actually recently. There was one time recently I messed with him because he hadn't, since he's in brumation, his little hibernation thing, he hadn't, even though he had food in his bowl, he would not come out from his rock. So on the 3rd day, he hadn't come out, he hadn't drank water, he hadn't eaten. I was like, nope, you are coming out. And I moved his rock, and oh my god, his throat puffed up, it turned solid black. He pancaked to the point where if I touched him and poked him, he was his body wouldn't move. And then he was trying to reach around and bite me. He was so pissed. And I was like, you will move, buddy. If nothing else, you're taking a bath, you stink. So
I'm sorry to interrupt with your natural rhythms, but you gotta move.
Yeah. You gotta eat something, dude. And the sad thing was, as soon as he ate, he was fine.
Oh, yeah, of course. Animals don't know.
Gwen, trash that. We're gonna get some new kale today.
Yeah, like we've got chickens, and from time to time the hens will go broody. And I don't know if you have very much experience with broody chickens, but it's pretty funny. They're so dramatic, and they scream, and they freak out. Yeah, it's hilarious. But
go ahead. Sorry.
If you catch them early enough in the process, you can just take them off the nest and make them walk it off for 2 or 3 days, and they're fine. But we've got a couple of hens that chickens go broody for 3 weeks. They sit on their eggs for 21 days. And we've got a couple of hens that once they start to go broody, they will not break for 3 weeks, regardless of what you do. And they say you can put like frozen peas on their chest. They have a patch of skin on their chest that they put their eggs up against. And people talk about, like putting cold fabric, or like putting fabric around the outside of a bag of peas and then putting it up there so that it chills them, but that cold ice on skin sensation doesn't make them uncomfortable, because you're trying to cool down their body temperature, because when they go broody, their body temperature goes up a little bit for incubating purposes. And they freak out when you reach in the nest to take them off. That's what it made me, you said Corbin freaked out when you took the rock off of them. That's what made me think of this. When you go to reach in there for them, they start to scream and they puff, and a couple of them will even like try to like bury down into the straw, like they know you're about to pick them up, so they start like no, trying to like bury down into the straw, like you can't reach them if they go under the straw another half an inch. And it's pretty funny. We've got one hen who sounds like a goat screaming. I'm not even kidding. Have you ever seen those screaming goat videos?
I have. I've seen the screaming goats. It's hilarious and scary at the same time.
Yeah, freaks me out. I hate goats. Hate goats with a passion.
If you know the sound is coming, it's just funny. But if you're like not knowing what they sound like when they scream, and you don't know it's coming, it scares the fuck out of you. It does.
How do you prepare for that? I mean, you just
like
don't.
If you're purposely searching, like if we don't, well, I have searched purposely on a couple of times screaming goat on YouTube just to watch it. And so, like I said, if you know it's coming, it's just hilarious. But if you're out, like someone has goats and you're out, and then suddenly they scream, holy crap, man! You're gonna jump 5 feet in the air every time.
Have you ever heard the little rooster scream, like the noise that the roosters make when they scream?
Yes.
Yeah, that cracks me up so much. I'm like, because it's such a high-pitched girly shriek sound, and these are supposed to be, little rooster men strutting around, doing their thing. But as soon as one of the hens makes a noise, they're like, because they hear the girl, and I'm like, every once in a while, it catches me off guard because they scream like the instant that the hen makes a noise. So, like, the hen can be in the coop on the other side of the yard, and I'm doing something over here, and so there's chickens over here with me, so the rooster's over here too. But he hears like one random off-key cluck from a hen inside the coop on the other side of the yard, and he screams, and I'm like, dude, like,
What's wrong with you?
What the issue is, yeah. Go address the problem, man. Don't just stand here and scream about it. Go check on her. Jeez. But that took me like a good 2 years to get used to. Because the first year that we had chickens, we didn't have a rooster at all. And we just had 5 chickens. And over the course of about a year, we got picked off down to 2. And we were like, well, we'll get a rooster and some more hens. We'll build the flock back up. So I had to learn all of these rooster behaviors very suddenly, having no experience with it. I had to figure out why every time that hen laid an egg and she did her egg song, he screams no matter where he is in the yard. It takes me a while to get used to. Yeah, hens really do that. They call it an egg song. It's exactly what it is. They laid their egg and they come off the nest and they got to tell everybody all about it.
Gwen, I'm on my live stream. Can you chill for a little while longer? I have no idea what you're asking for, and you need to get off that counter.
Oh, speaking of live stream, though, do you want to do another sprint at 25?
That's what I was thinking. I was going to ask you the same thing before I was interrupted by a child asking for something that I'm not even certain what she was asking for. What are you asking for, anyways?
Medicine
for what?
Birds. Because they're out of water.
They need water? Okay. Oh. I was going to say it's right there. She's going to water them. The birds need water, apparently. Which is really weird. That means they're either taking baths in their water or they dumped it, because I refilled it yesterday. They don't go through it that fast. So something happened. Oh well.
You never know.
That's weird.
The animals get up to some funky stuff when you keep them restrained in any way.
They do.
Obnoxious.
Animals are obnoxious. How dare they? How dare they?
How dare you get bored and just try to figure out what to do?
I know.
So, I thought of something to say, but it's going to take me a few minutes to say it. So we can do it on the next stream.
Okay.
I've got 25 right now. We've discussed this before. My laptop is like 45 seconds faster than all of your devices.
Yeah, something like that. Because I've still got 24 on both my computer and my phone. Just really weird, but it should be changing like any second now.
I know, it doesn't make any sense that all of these devices are not exactly the same everywhere.
Justin's phone does the same thing. His alarms will go off a minute before mine. It's really weird. All right, I have 25 now, so I'm going to go ahead and press start. And go.
Dragon. Toy dragon. Mommy, can you write dragon?
You can.
Toy dragon. I can't write dragon. Can you spell it?
You have lots of books with the word dragon in it. You have lots of books with the word dragon in it.
Mommy, I couldn't find the dragon book.
We have a lot. We have a lot. Go look on that shelf again. Turn the light on if you need to.
Daddy's.
Daddy will be okay. He's slept. You won't wake him. Trust me. Trust me, you won't wake him.
No, it's dinosaur. How about dinosaur instead of dragon?
Okay, you have a book about a baby dragon who can't breathe fire.
Where's that?
It's on your bookshelf. Oh, that's time.
And that.
Go look through your bookshelf for dragon books. Pull books one at a time off the shelf. Put them back when you find some dragon books. Oh, goodness.
How did you do?
That is a good question. I got distracted near the end as they were trying to ask me how to spell words. Negative 26.
Ooh, moving back down.
Adding and subtracting stuff.
How much do you think you're adding versus subtracting if you're still moving down? Like, are you?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Do you seem to be primarily subtracting? I mean, obviously your number's going down.
Yeah, I'm primarily subtracting, which is fine. The total number of words on this draft was, let's see, 25,906. Excuse me. And now it's at 25,794. So technically, altogether, I've only subtracted about 200 words. Actually, less than that.
You've added stuff too, though, right?
Because I've added stuff to it as well.
Yeah.
So, it works. It works out.
Yeah.
My goal is to keep it right around between 25 and 26,000 words. Can't talk. So I'm still staying within my bracket, and I'm on chapter 3 now. I will finish chapter 3 before today is over, even if I don't finish it during this live stream.
I am about 2/3 of the way done with my scene. So I'm
awesome.
I don't think I'll finish it in this live stream, but I do think I might be able to sit down later on today and finish this scene.
Yeah. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is finish chapter 3, whether on the live stream or not, and then later tonight after the girls are in bed and Justin's gone to work, I will do chapters 4 and 5. And rather than doing anything where I time myself, I will do chapters 4 and 5, and after I'm done doing 4 and 5, that's when I'll end. So I'll end whenever I'm done with 5.
Do you want to do another live sprint at 45? That'll give us one more before 12. And
we
then we
can
wrap it up.
Okay. What was it that you were going to talk about on the last?
I was going to ask, I'm writing my scenes out of order. Like I said, I've thoroughly outlined everything, so I know exactly what happens when, but I know I'm on purpose writing my scenes out of order.
Okay.
Do you do that too? I know your outlining is much looser than mine. So do you write like the easy bits first, basically, the things where you know exactly what's going to happen to get them out of the way, or do you start at the beginning and work to the end?
I start at the beginning and work towards the end. And there's really, like, I could do it the way you're talking about, where I jump around. Like, say I'm really excited about one chapter and I write that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, anything where, like, all the stories that are based on dreams, I'll write out the dream sequence first before I even start really outlining and planning the story, just so that I don't forget that dream sequence.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, I guess I do write out of order, because that's usually the first thing I do with those kinds of stories. And then I'll go back, outline, and write. But usually when I'm actually drafting, I start from the beginning and go to the end.
I thought about doing that, but personally, my first scene is a big scene, and honestly, I did not want to start my worst efforts on the very first scene and then have to come back and edit it and see just how bad it was at first. Like, because it takes me a little while to kind of like get those fiction motors going in my brain. So I chose to do some of these like inconsequential almost scenes first. Like I said, they're not inconsequential. They do move the plot forward. They just don't actually affect the plot. And I'm using them for a lot of like information dumps and foreshadowing and all that kind of stuff. So, I definitely was just way too intimidated to start at the beginning and go to the end because my writing is so bad. I'm so like it as I go through, it gets better. You know what I mean? Like the first 3 paragraphs that I wrote in that first sprint when I got a bunch done are just so bad I'm not even going to go back and read them. But now I'm working on these ones. Yeah, not now. No. We'll get back to those. And this is like my 5th scene where I've done that. You know, this is scene 5 that I've worked on so far. Not 5 in the list, but the 5th one that I've done. So I've got 5 out of 47 almost done.
All right. Well, I have 11:45, so let's go ahead and do this last sprint. 15 minutes starting now.
What? Now we're going to the I need to write every single word. You said no. You said yes.
And that is time. Oh, goodness.
Cool. I just reached the stopping point, too.
I made it to chapter 4. I finished chapter 3 during that last sprint. I didn't realize how close to the end I was.
Nice.
So yeah, I will definitely finish, and I think I'm about halfway through chapter 4, actually. So I will definitely finish chapter 4 and 5 today, and I might even get further than that, depending on how much time I work on it later.
Well, you were zooming.
I am. But this one's a lot easier since this is edit number 3. This is the third edit. This is the final edit before I send to my editor. And
okay.
Part of the reason Hunter's Betrayal wasn't as easy was because of the fact that I was reworking chapters because of the fact that a lot of my beginning chapters were like less than 1,000 words long, and like the last 3 or 4 chapters were my usual length, which is about 3,000 words long. So I was trying to find ways to combine chapters to get them all basically the similar consistency kind of thing.
So what are you calling a chapter? Like, I have only 7 chapters in my book, but 47 scenes.
Usually, most of the time, especially with my novels, one chapter is one scene because it doesn't really change places or characters. Everything that happens in a single chapter is at the same location during the same time period.
Okay.
That being said, with the novellas, that's a little different. But as long as the same theme is consistent in each chapter, and what I mean by theme, so like with Hunter's Betrayal, there's a lot of it takes place over the course of more than a year. With Davis Hunter first courting his wife and then marrying her and then finding out she's a witch and all that fun jazz.
Fun.
Yeah, fun. So the first chapter is about his meeting her and his deciding she's the one kind of thing. While the second chapter is some of the stuff he goes through in order to prepare to actually court her, because he's twice her age. And there's some young men she might accept better than him, so he's doing everything he can to prove that he's worthy of being the one she says yes to. But that takes place over several months worth of time, but it's all in that same chapter because it's all following the same theme. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, they're all related events. All of these things go with this one idea.
Yep. So it just varies on what project I'm working on, but I have noticed that most of my chapters for any project I'm working on are about 3,000 words long, anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 words long. That being said, this one's different. All of the chapters are consistent in that they all have the same amount of words, but they're all between 2,000 and 2,500 words.
Okay.
But again, it's still consistent. They're all pretty close in length. There's none that are extremely longer than any others.
Yeah, that's what you're shooting for. My scenes, I don't know how long my chapters are going to be because I'm not there yet. I've never done this before, so I can't even guesstimate. And I'm definitely not anywhere close with being able what my chapters will be. But my scene lengths are all over the place. The one I'm working on right now is literally, like I said earlier, like just these two people bump into each other because they don't even know they're in the same place at the same time. But I've got lots of foreshadowing and lots of little things that as an audience member, you're going to be like, ooh, like, you know what's going on, and you figure out a few things like, okay, well, if these two people are bumping into each other, then that means that those other 6 people are right here. Like, right here, they have to be here. And it's exciting for the audience. I think it's exciting for me to imagine it in my head anyways. But yeah, that one is gonna be short in comparison to some of my other ones, and much shorter. Like, I'm thinking it's gonna be the difference between like 2,000 words and like 5,000 words maybe. Some of the longer scenes where I have like intense conversations or, you know, action sequences, that kind of thing. So I don't know what to expect yet. So
Yeah.
that's why I keep asking you, what are you doing, so that I can get a guesstimate by somebody who actually knows what she's doing.
I only pretend to know what I'm doing, just so you know.
Yeah, sure.
And
I did
everyone's
okay.
different, because even if you look at, like, okay, so the biggest example I can think of off the top of my head is Stephen King. He's one of the main people I know that the chapters are all over the place as far as length goes. He's even got chapters that are like 1 or 2 words long, and then other chapters that are like almost 10,000 words long. He goes all over the place as far as the chapter length goes.
Yeah.
So there isn't any set rule on how long a chapter should be. I've just noticed that with my own writing, all my chapters in a certain project seem to be consistently about the same length, and it bothers me when they're not.
Yeah. The only advice that I saw, and you said it here also, the only advice that I saw that seemed right to me, and you nailed it on the head, was that regardless of what the length is, they're about one idea. You know, like one confrontation, one sequence of events, one thing. Everything within that chapter is about one thing. And,
so, like, your chapters are about the days, because yours just takes place over 7 days. So each of your 7 chapters is a day.
Yeah. And my chapters 1, 2, and 3, when I looked, I did go through one time and try to like guesstimate some calculations maybe. Chapters 1, 2, and 3 are about the same length. Chapters 4 and 5 are short, both of them very short. And 6 and 7 are both very, very long. Because through the course of my plot, days 4 and 5 spend a lot of time like kind of in this dream world, and the people in it lose track of time. And that's what makes them crunch time days 6 and 7. And therefore that means that they have to cram a lot into days 6 and 7. And so my chapters are going to be longer because I've got a lot to cover in 6 and 7. Yeah. And I thought about if I should space it out and not do that. And then I was like, well, I was thinking about the advice that you gave me that one time, which is go ahead and write it the way you want to write it, and then rewrite it if it's bad. Like, just do it. So that's what I decided to do, because I think it makes sense in the context of my book. You know what I mean? Like, in the context of my book. So not necessarily the best for everybody, but, you know, this is not an everybody process. It's different for everybody. So I'm trying to hold on to that when I have doubts about, you know, should chapters 4 and 5 be so short? Because they are short. And when I say short, I mean like 4 and 5 is probably, 4 and 5 together is probably still going to be shorter than any one of the other chapters.
Okay.
So, yeah, like it's drastically short and tiny.
Yeah, and that could change as you're writing it too, because you might discover that you're like, oh, this would make an excellent point. Let me add this in, and that would increase your chapters as well.
I'm hoping that'll make me feel better about it for sure.
It's all good. This is only the first draft. Just remember that it's the first draft.
Yeah,
so
the first draft.
It's allowed to be crap.
Thank you.
Now, when you're like me and you're getting to the point where you're on draft number 3, that's when you need to be looking at it hard, going, buckle up, Buttercup. We're about to get this shit done.
Oh man, that's scary. I'm already looking at my pacing and trying to really think ahead for November. Like, I really, really want to think ahead for November and be ready to make that edit in November. Not trying to crunch, or I'll finish my first rough draft in the month of November. I want to have this done. It gives me 2 months. I've got a little bit done so far, a little bit, but it seems to be going at a decent pace for me. I have not been sitting down and applying myself to actually getting it done.
Okay.
So it's going slowly, but I've put so much effort into my outlines that, like I said, sometimes I even have like whole conversations outlined within my outline. Okay. So so far, my master plan seems to be working. Like these short scenes that I've come to where, like I said, I'm doing the short, least significant. There we go. That's the good way to say it. My short and least significant scenes are the ones that I'm working on first so that I can get those little ones out of my system, get myself in the habit and in my flow and all of that before I get to the more important ones. That way when I come back for editing, these little blurbs of just terribleness will just be short scenes instead of long scenes.
Yeah.
But my outline really, really helps. Like, you know, like the scene that I'm looking at right now, I've got 2, 3, 4, 11 things that happen in this scene. And that's not going to be 11 paragraphs, but it's 11 things, and I know exactly what happens. And I sat down today, and I managed to make it all the way through bullet number 8. Just in these 2 hours, I managed to make it through 8 of 11 on just this one scene. So it helps me. It definitely helps me. I'm absolutely a plotter. And
Okay.
I did okay overall today. In just this one scene, I got 1,289 words.
Okay.
So,
and how
all of these
we didn't talk
sprints.
about it. We didn't talk about it yet. But what did you do this last sprint?
Bullet
We
number.
talked about how much we did, but not actual word counts and stuff.
Honestly, I think I already lost count on my word count. Let me see if I can scroll back and highlight and see exactly what I did. How do I get Scrivener to word count me just a highlighted section?
I usually just cut it from that part and paste it into a new what's it called? New text, and then I'll delete it afterwards. Because then that new text, it'll show you the word count at the bottom.
Okay. That should be pretty easy to do. I've got all my stuff set up.
And you can always move that piece to trash later. So that's how I do it. There's probably another way to do it, but that's how I do it. Just so I can get the accuracy.
416 in just this last one.
That's good.
Yeah, I got over the hump of not knowing exactly what was going to happen, and I got down to my last 2 bullet points, 7 and 8. I'd thought about those enough that I knew exactly what was going to happen, so I finished 7 and then got to 8.
Nice.
So.
All in all, I subtracted 310 words. I've added a bunch of stuff as well, but I've done a lot more subtracting with this edit than I have with Hunter's Betrayal. I did a lot more adding, and this one I've done a lot more subtracting.
Yeah.
So
that's what you're aiming for, though, right?
Yeah. With Hunter's Betrayal, a lot of the adding was probably from me moving stuff around and combining chapters. So it wasn't probably as accurate as it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Because I probably did just as much subtracting from that one as I'm doing with this one. If all truth be told.
You really hate fluff too, don't you? I think you said that one time, like you get merciless with cutting out your fluff.
I do. I hate fluff. Fluff is just because I know as a reader I skim over that, and a lot of times because I'm so busy skimming over the fluff, I miss some of the important bits too because it's mixed in there with the fluff. So it would just God, I hate fluff. Drives me nuts.
I don't love it, but I do appreciate it from time to time. From time to time, I do find myself going, okay, that was fun to read, but it made absolutely no difference. And depending on the type of book and where it is in the book, I'm okay with that. Like if it's if it's a fun book and it happens towards the front half of the book, totally good with it. But every once in a while, I'll read like a thriller or something, and they want to give you like a whole 2 pages of fluff 3/4 of the way through the book. And you're like, excuse me, unless this fluff is a stuffed animal that you're going to throw into that fan that's blowing shit everywhere, I don't need to know about this fluff. Like, I'm in the shitstorm, dude. Let me navigate that. Sometimes I do get like, what are you doing? Like, sometimes I get the vibe that that the author is trying to intentionally give you a gap to make you stop and take a breath. But sometimes that's just annoying. Sometimes it's like, don't tell me how to read this book. Just give me something that makes me want to turn my pages. Don't stop me. Oh man, I know you've read the Douglas Adams books too, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it is, but the opening sequence is right before like a plane crashes or something is supposed to explode. And the first, you know what I'm talking about? Because the first like 3 pages drove me nuts. I still complain about it to this day because Douglas Adams, you know how much he loves words, and he was just dragging it out for like 3 whole pages. This could have happened. They could have been blown to smithereens, but don't worry, it didn't happen. And then this could have happened because that happened, but it didn't happen. Don't worry, they didn't get blown to smithereens. And then all of this could have come crashing down, but don't worry, they didn't get blown to smithereens. And I'm like, shut up and tell me what happens. Like, it drove me nuts. It's the worst example ever. Like, that's my worst experience ever with it. You know what I mean?
That's an example of the worst experience. I love it.
Oh, and you know he did it on purpose. You know, Douglas Adams knew that there was going to be readers sitting in their bed going, come on, for 3 pages. He did that to us on purpose. And
I feel like he did that out of spite, and it reminds me so much of the kind of friendly competition between C.S. Lewis and Tolkien. So there's a thing I read about the fact that Tolkien told Lewis no one would ever put a lamp post in a fantasy novel. And so just to spite him, Lewis did exactly that.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. I feel like the scene you just described with Douglas Adams and the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, I feel like that's exactly why he did that, was just to spite someone because someone would say something.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was just a little trivial conversation he had with someone that he was like, I'll show you, and he did it.
Yeah, he did, because I can't remember which book it is, but the ending of the book that came before it ended very abruptly, very much like, well, do they live through the explosion or do they not live through the explosion? What the hell? And then I almost got the feeling that he did it to spite his editor. Like, they told him this book is too long, you have to stop it. So he's like, all right, fine, I'll stop it. But even you are going to want to start the next book the minute you put this book down. And so he wrote the most cliffhangerous ending he could come up with, and then just the most obnoxious and tedious first few pages of that next book to put you through a little bit of what he was going through. That's what I suspect happened.
It's very possible. It is very possible.
It sounds like something he would do, I think. What little I know of his character, it sounds
I mean, that's
like
something I would do. Just saying. I would totally do that. If you told me my book was too long, and I'd be like, no, it's not. I'll show you. That's exactly what I would do.
Oh, man. I'm terrified mine's going to be too long. I barely even know.
Do you have a guesstimation of how long?
No, not at all. I've never written anything like this before. I have no idea how long, how wordy I'm going to be.
No. You got 3 drinks now.
I do have 3 drinks. I'm a drink collector, apparently.
Want to drink soda?
No. Sorry, I have 3 drinks over by me. I have my Monster from last night that I never finished. I have my IBC, which is almost gone, and my cup of Pepsi, which Grace keeps trying to pick up, that I filled before I got my IBC, and then I saw the IBC, and I was like, I want that.
Mm.
And the Monster was in my room. I didn't even realize there was anything left in it until someone brought it out here. I think it was Grace that brought it out here to me. She's like, here you go. I was like, oh, I forgot about that.
I do something similar, except what I do is like, I have mugs. I love mugs and mugs with straws in them. So I have like my great big Bubba Keg mug, and that always has ice water in it, but every so often I'll want soda. So I'll get another mug, and okay, this one will have soda in it. And then I'll forget about my soda mug, and then I'm like, okay, well, I don't want this Gatorade on ice, so then I'll get another mug with a Gatorade on it and with Gatorade in it. And yeah, if I'm not careful, I'll have like 4 mugs at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I've got 4 drinks to finish, otherwise something goes to waste.
The only other time I
So
usually do this is if I am actually drinking it, and I'll have a water or a soda and then my drink.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't
always
actually
have
do this a
water.
lot.
Oh, I'm terrible. I always have a water, and I usually have a Gatorade, and then a soda or juice, whatever is handy and I like. So I just have it. And I don't do the dishes. So the people who do the dishes, like I do like 90% of the housework, but I don't finish. I wash the clothes, but I don't put them away. I don't even fold the towels. I'm like, you're folding them. I washed them. You're folding them. I don't fold the clothes, and I don't do the dishes, and I don't take the dogs out to go business. Like we have one indoor dog, and when it's time for her she has to go to the bathroom. She wants to go out. I don't bother with that. I'm like, anybody but me. Like, just, I don't even care. Just somebody do it. And in the grand scheme of things, you're a mom and a woman, so you know what I'm saying, that there's always something to do. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't feel bad about the fact that I don't do the dishes, but I do use like 5 cups a day. Yes, I do. And you're going to have to wash all 5 cups because I cooked your food all 3 meals today. So I don't even want to hear it. So, yeah.
That's the great thing about having kids. They're starting to do all the chores. So, like, I don't have to wash anything but maybe the pots and pans because they're not really good at cleaning those. Or I don't have to fold but my clothes.
I've never had a dishwasher, so I've never had the luxury of being able to just load the dishwasher. But I'm pretty sure, knowing myself, I will probably load the dishwasher and then make somebody else put the dishes away. That sounds like something I would do.
So we don't have a dishwasher here, so we're always having to wash everything by hand. And yeah, I do the same thing. When I do the dishes, I'll wash them and then I'll make someone else put them away because I don't put them away. I mean, they're still dry. There's still some wet stuff in there.
Yep, that's what the paper towels are for.
I always tell everyone, I'm like, yeah, it is. We want to go ahead and wrap this up.
I'm thinking, yeah, we'll take a few minutes to wrap it up, and then you can have 2.5 hour stream.
Woot.
So, what's happening next week?
Next week is going to be the goals video that we rescheduled. And hopefully Virginia will be able to join us. But even if she's not, we'll go ahead and do our goals video, our goals stream next week. It's already scheduled. It's already in the works. So we're good there.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that's all I've got planned for right now. It's just that next stream.
Okay. How are you doing with your project?
With this one, I'm on chapter 4, hoping to get done with chapter 5 by tonight. Might continue further depending on how long it takes me to get through chapter 5. This edit's going a lot faster than I was expecting. I only have 12 chapters total. So I might get done with it before the end of this week, actually, which will be really cool. Because then I'll just wait until my editor's like, okay, send me the next one. And I'll be like, here you go. I have it all ready for you.
Nice. I love being ahead of schedule like that.
It'll be the first time ever because usually, like, okay, so I was telling someone else this. I don't know who I was telling at this point. But when I set deadlines for myself all the time. My goals are technically my own deadlines. But I never seem to actually go through with them. Because the only one holding me accountable is myself. But in this case, I have a contract with my editor. So it's even though she'll be okay if I tell her, hey, it's going to be late, I'll feel bad about it. So I'm like, okay, I need to get this done, and I need to have it done by this date, and it has to be done. So, like, with Hunter's Portrayal, I was rushing to get it done. Not so fast that I was, like, I wasn't rushing the story itself. I was just rushing myself to get it done and forcing myself to work on it even when I was like, I don't feel like it, or I can't do this today just because. because I knew that if I continued to have that kind of feeling, it wouldn't get done.
Yeah.
And I would just let it continue on, drag it out, kind of thing.
Oh.
So having someone else there saying, "Hey, get this done by this day," is so much better for me because I do get things done. Because I'm forcing myself to do things, and that helps a lot.
I do okay when I have that. Like
We cleaned our room.
my writing always seems to take a back seat to like anything and everything else. You know, dealing with everyday life stuff. Like it's about carpets. I haven't cleaned my carpets so far this year, so it's time for me to get around to doing it before it gets any colder. And now I'm like, I find myself just thinking about it, and I'm like, I spent 45 minutes here brainstorming cleaning when I could have spent 45 minutes writing. And I've got to get better about that.
And that's where I was at, and that's part of the reason, like, I'll procrastinate forever because I would do the same thing. I would find other things to do, and that's why it's better for me to have someone else holding me accountable, saying, okay, you need to get this done by this date. Because it's not that I can't get it done by that date. It's just that I will put it off and just not do it.
Yeah.
So it's always better if someone else is saying, hey, Sky, get on it. Even if they're not really doing that, even if they're not actually the kind of person that would do that. Like, I know that, like I was saying, my editor, she would have been cool if I'd said, hey, this is going to be a week late. And she'd be like, I'll take your time. But it was just that mentality of the fact that I feel like I would be letting her down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, nope, Sky, work.
Yeah.
So, but
okay, well, 28. I guess it's about time to wrap it up.
Yep, we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
So, I'll go ahead and wrap up my end.
All right, go ahead.
My name, I am Amy Nobody. I don't have any published works or social media to share because this is my first foray into fiction, and I don't use social media. So, I'm working on my rough draft of my very first book. Sky's been helping me through it. She got me into it November last year with NaNoWriMo, and I'm here working on getting my stuff ready for November NaNoWriMo this year. And yeah, that's about all I have to say. I did okay today as far as my goals went.
Yeah, you did. I'm very proud of what you've done. You've done you said you've done about, what, 1,200 words? Maybe more?
A little over, almost 13.
Okay. You've done a lot of words, all things considered, because we did 1, 2, 3, 4. We did 5 sprints, so that's great.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Off stream, I'll do the math to figure out how many words per sprint you technically did.
Okay.
But I can't math right now, and we're trying to wrap this up.
Gotta have a calculator.
So, yeah, math. But anyways, so thank you guys for joining us. My links are listed down in the description below. And next week, like I said, we'll be doing our July, August goals wrap up, as well as our September, October goals listing, telling you what we're going to be doing. I'm not exactly certain the word I'm looking for. Don't ask. I don't know. So join us then if you want to know about that stuff. If you're interested in doing bi-monthly goals or finding out what we've actually got planned, join us. We'll get things done. And until next week, 10 a.m. Eastern, I think that's 9 a.m. Central. I will have to get world clocks back on my phone so I can figure this stuff out because I don't know. I have no idea. So
Central
until then,
is just 1 hour behind us.
Okay, so yes, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. And if you're somewhere else in the world, I'm sorry. I will eventually have world clock set up so I can get your times as well. But until next time, I will talk to everyone later. Bye.
Goodbye.